It's a leap year, so be sure to use the extra day wisely. We will. A month ago, I went to John O'Groats to start a creativity revolution right across the UK with our Ignite 22 Festival of Creativity in School Communities, to continue our work with schools across the country. We live streamed an inspiring assembly from the back of a camper van, making it look as if It's a leap year, so be sure to use the extra day wisely. We will. A month ago, I went to John O'Groats to start a creativity revolution right across the UK with our Ignite 22 Festival of Creativity in School Communities, to continue our work with schools across the country. We live streamed an inspiring assembly from the back of a camper van, making it look as if we were on a cardboard Mars base camp in the school playground. We ran creative activities, rocket making, coding, design, and we launched a dynamite rocket.
The hype it went, and the kids are just squealing with excitement.
But I'm just one dad, and I can't do it all on my own. I need your help. Today in Paisley, the government launched their £120 million Unbox 2022 Festival of Creativity. We'll sort of be there tonight in a camper van outside the Made in Paisley Arts Workshop and chatting with Ken MacDonald next door in the world-famous Houston Kilt Makers, whose tartan has even been to space. We're launching our own mission with the non-profit community enterprise STEAM Co. I helped co-found with some parents and teachers in my son's school. We want to raise £1 million to inspire 1 million kids to aim higher than high, powered by their creativity and our communities. At 7 p.m, we'll launch a 150-foot-high cardboard starship, just like the 1,000 that Elon Musk wants to take 1 million of our kids to Mars in 30 years. We want to put up to 22 of our pop-up Creativity Day drop trucks on the road this year and run a few festivals and creativity sessions with school communities across the country. So if you care about creativity, children and all our futures, will you chip in £1 and be part of it?
Let's ask, what if? Let's start a creativity revolution.
Well, good evening and welcome to Paisley on a fairly dark evening, fairly quiet evening, not the busiest night. We've got some good light here, I'm very pleased to say. I think if we can cut, have we got a better angle of this? We've got a better angle so we can just, people can sort of zoom in and see us. We cut to that, please. Yep, there we go. Here we go. So, good evening. We are actually on our Cardboard Mars base camp here in Paisley, just in front of Paisley Abbey. Really, really excited to be here tonight. Absolutely wonderful. As you saw there, we got a camper van outside the Houston Kilt Makers just up the road on Paisley High Street. Very, very exciting this evening. The Unboxed 2022 festival opens tonight, and I think it's fairly true to say we've been tracking this for 4 years now. My name is Nick Corston. I'm just a dad at Steamco, which is a non-profit community enterprise, which is all about inspiring our kids to find their art, whatever it is, and to connect them with their communities, to bring communities into schools. Obviously a little bit easier said than done before lockdown. And what I'd like to do before we get going is just to play a little video of what we're up to here. We've got a message here. Who's popped a little message in? Have they popped a message in? No, they haven't. If you'd like to pop a message in the box, type a message in the box on Twitter, Facebook or YouTube, and we'll see that message, and then we can answer. We might have a Zoom room going on later on. So it's quite an interesting evening for creativity actually, because live at this precise moment, we've actually got a live link to New York and Windsor actually. That lady there is Kate Robinson, who is actually Sir Ken Robinson's daughter. And they've just launched a book today, the Imagine If book, which is a manifesto for a creative revolution, as Kate calls it. And she's there with Matt Goldman and Noah Reinhardt, who I believe are both from the Blue School, which is a private school, an independent school in New York, which is built on creativity. It's been really interesting to hear those guys talking. I don't know if we can hear them now. Why can't we hear them now? Let's get some audio up.
Beings and more to being human than self-interest. Our future depends on learning this lesson by heart. And I think, he was a huge believer in holism, that the individual, is a vital part to the whole functioning, and also, the individual functions because it is a part of the whole, the interconnectedness of it.
So Kate Robinson there, I was at a Patreon event earlier today with her and her husband Anthony of Nevergrey, which is a marketing strategy brand agency, a purpose agency. And obviously they're working to carry on Sir Ken Robinson's legacy as part of that business. And I think it's a non-profit actually, the organisation has set up. A lot of exciting stuff coming down the line on that, which I'm sworn to secrecy not to tell you about it, but not to worry. So what are we going to be doing this evening? Well, as I say, we are delighted to be here on a Cardboard Mars base camp, which we've made from cardboard boxes and little bits of those blue screws. Those are make-do screws. I don't know if you're familiar with this system. This is the make-do system, which we're actually UK ambassadors for, believe it or not. They let you build amazing cardboard models from just cardboard boxes. If you look for hashtag art of make-do or go to the Steamco website, you can get hold of some of that. We've got a little film actually, which I quite like to sort of run now actually, just to give a little bit of context as to what we're all about here at Steamco, and let's pop that film in there like that, and let's run that film. This is a film that's been shortlisted for a charity film awards actually, which we're absolutely delighted about, as I'm sure you can imagine. So let's run this film. A film made for us by Chris Sullivan, who's a creative impresario. He's an artist. He's a DJ. He's a man about town, very, very well known in London, very, very well connected. And in fact, as soon as I finish this live stream, I'm off to an Irish pub where Chris Sullivan is hosting a St David's Day night. So hopefully I'll be able to do a bit of video live streaming from that, but it won't be in the context of this session. So let's get this going. We're all born artists. The problem is to remain an artist as we grow up. That was Pablo Picasso. And I think we've got to help our kids, all our kids, aim high in life. Not just high, but higher than high. We've got to help our kids find their passion, their art. So I'm Nick Corston, I'm just a dad, I'm co-founder of Steamco. One day maybe I'll be the CEO, I don't know. So STEAM Co is a non-profit community enterprise that helps connect our kids with their art and our communities with their schools by running creativity days. And we want to get the whole community involved. We want people who've had kids, not had kids, got kids, whatever, to come and work with us to help us run these days.
It's magic! It's magical!
What inspired me? Well, I saw a talk by Sir Ken Robinson. I read half a book called What's the Point of School? On what we should be teaching our kids. And I went to Camp Bestel, which is really a Glastonbury for kids. And I thought, I want this in my kids' school. I've got a lovely little film my dad gave me of me when I was 1 and him with my first ever train set. And I show that to kids in schools all over the country. And how my dad gave me the greatest gift. He gave me my art. Because art is what we call it when what we do might connect us to somebody else. So art could be painting, it could be photography, it could be cooking, it could be coding, it could be dancing, it could be design, it could be DJing, it could be robots, it could be rockets. The fun, the excitement that we have making and firing rockets in schools is to be seen, to be believed.
This is the best day of my life.
This truck contains everything you need to run a creativity festival in a primary school. 30 coding kits with the BBC Microbit. We've got rocket making kits. We do cardboard challenge. We can do the egg drop. We've got a t-shirt printing machine so we can print I Love Art t-shirts. So the kids design their own logo, take a selfie. We've had thousands of posters of those done. That's with JR, French street artist JR. So we've got communities all over the country designing I Love Art logos, taking photos, and we sent them off to JR and he's printed 1,000 of these off for us, which we're fly posting all over the country. So in lockdown, we got an Arts Council grant and we built a green screen TV studio. We've been live streaming events all summer. We did a 3-day Glastonbury event where we built a half-sized pyramid stage from cardboard and code and ran 3-day events. We had Martin and Gary Kemp. We had Glenn Matlock from the Sex Pistols on stage alongside community artists, dads and their kids. That's annoying, isn't it? And that is so annoying. That is so annoying. I'm going to jump back. I'm going to jump that back. I'll tell you exactly what happened there. Where were we? Where were we? Here we go. Creativity.
For me, collaboration is everything.
Elton John gave me the greatest gift. Actually, he made a film, I don't know if you saw it, with John Lewis, where basically he tells the story of how he was given a piano as a kid and worked hard and made literally $1 million. I saw that film, ripped it off, put our own subtitles on it, and Elton John retweeted it. It had 50,000 views in an hour, and I went on a 2-week UK tour from Cornwall all the way to Carlisle, showing that film, showing my train set film, talking to kids about art and creativity, letting off rockets, and inspiring schools across the country in our 12 days of Creative Christmas tour.
You've inspired one little boy in particular, a very quiet boy, and as that rocket shot into the air, we heard the words blast off come out of his mouth.
Innovation, technology and dreams rocketing up to the sky.
The state education system, we have a lot of people feel it's been narrowed and narrowed and narrowed, focusing on teaching and testing of highly academic subjects, which are important, which are right for some kids, but it's not for everybody. And some kids come out of the education system literally broken. 9 out of 10 schools in Britain have reported cutting the arts in some way or another, which is a real tragedy. And we're going to lose that cutting-edge creativity that made Britain so famous. Creativity is Great Britain, after all. The ideal future for me would be a whole load of these trucks on the road with passionate, enthusiastic, committed, creative people, helping connect kids with their art and communities with their schools all the way across the UK. As Albert Einstein said, imagination can take us anywhere. Well, there you have it.
I would like to have STEAM Co day in my classroom because we get to learn about what's inside stuff and stuff. and things. I like science because you get to make stuff. You can describe people who do stuff, what's amazing.
Never start speaking before the children are finished. That's got to be the motto for every live stream, isn't it? So here we are. If you've just joined us, we've got 1 or 2 people in. It's not the busiest night. Must admit, really quite surprised that the Unboxed Festival is not live streaming tonight. We did actually look into that project, and we actually applied for funding, but we didn't get through the first stage, very sadly. But I must admit, I'm surprised there's no live streaming going on tonight. So here we are in the Paisley Abbey, just in front of Paisley Abbey on our cardboard Mars base camp. And we're just here to see if anybody's interested in talking about what we're up to, and they're not. And in fact, it would appear that nobody's terribly interested in talking about the Unboxed Festival, if Twitter's anything to go by. I don't know if we can get Twitter up on that screen there. Can we get Twitter up on that screen? There we go, there's Twitter. So we'll pull Twitter up full screen on there. So at the moment, we've had a fantastic day today, actually, collaborating with a teacher on the Isle of Wight called Graham Andre. And he runs a thing called the February Music Challenge. And every day in February, he literally puts a shout out for people to see what songs that fit around a particular theme. And today was February the 29th, as you can see there, which it's hashtag leap year 22. He did that for us to sort of just get a bit of interest and awareness for what we're trying to do here with our Ignite 22 Festival, which is a festival of creativity in school communities, co-created with communities, for communities, by communities. As you just saw in that video there, I run a non-profit called Steam Co, which I co-founded in my son's primary school just up the road from here in Paddington. And basically we are putting a call out to launch this creativity festival, the Ignite Festival. I'm just going to pop that video up there, actually, because this is a film that we made to talk about that and talk about the journey here, because we're here tonight on the first night of the Unboxed 2022 Festival here in Paisley. But it's been quite an interesting journey getting here. 4 years ago, we met with the Culture Minister. Well, actually, let's just play the video and you can find out all about it. Wired Magazine and The Guardian have said I'm a man on a mission after I co-founded a non-profit 10 years ago to promote creativity with the community of my son's primary school in Paddington. I'm just a dad, but I'm passionate about creativity in our schools, work and lives, and I'm now on a mission to raise £1 million to inspire 1 million kids, and I need your help. 3 years ago, the Culture Minister told us about the government's plans to run a year-long festival of creativity and innovation that we wanted to be part of. We launched our Art Connects 19 year in Parliament and ran community events in school communities across the UK, in Cornwall, at Camp Bestville in Dorset, and with the community of a school in Bradford. A chat with Niall Rogers at a school in Toxteth rounded off a week in Liverpool that gave us a theme for 2020.
So my whole life is a collaboration.
With emergency COVID funding, we've run virtual and real community art events like a Glastonbury festival on a cardboard pyramid stage in a school in Somerset, others on a cardboard Coventry Cathedral, an art camp in a field in Devon, and a pop-up disco under the moon in Kent, as well as a live-streamed New Year's Eve party to kick off our Inspiration 21 year. Elon Musk's dream of taking 1 million people to Mars in 30 years inspired our Mission to Mars UK tour, which was sponsored by a dad who went to space on one of his rockets. I built a starship from a few bits of metal and a Mars base camp from cardboard and hit the road with a green screen TV studio in the back of a camper van, live streaming into schools and running workshops. We went up through England to Edinburgh, across to Belfast and down through the Lake District to Liverpool to a village school in South Wales. We shared inspiring stories, we created stuff, and we launched rockets to inspire our kids to aim higher and higher with their art. We're launching an appeal to raise £1 million to put 22 of our pop-up day drop trucks and steamsters like me on the road.
You've arrived at your destination.
Inspired by the New Year's Eve fireworks celebrating our country's creativity, we ran our own event to launch our Ignite 22 year.
Let's ask, what if? Let's start a creativity revolution.
And there you have it. There you have it. Our cardboard Mars base camp here in the centre of Paisley, just around the corner, just over the river there from Paisley Abbey, which is the site at the moment for the Unboxed Festival. This great Unboxed Festival is letting loose at the moment, and I think we might even be able to pull their video. Actually, this is the trailer video that they've got for the Unboxed Festival. Let's get that across there and get that across there, and this is what's going to be happening this year. They've got a whole load of events, 10 different events around the theme of STEAM, science, technology, engineering, art and maths, pulling it together. They've got an oil rig down in Weston-super-Mare, and tonight, as you can see, they've got the projection mapping going on at the Abbey just behind me as we speak, and it's going to be very exciting. I mean, there's had a lot of criticism because of the a lot of people have dubbed it the Brexit Festival, determined to call it the Brexit Festival. Well, as far as I'm concerned, it's no more the Brexit Festival, and this is Brexit Britain, if that's what you want it to be. And I'm not going to get too political at the moment. There's also a feeling that it's an English-driven project, but it's grounded in England, Scotland, Wales and Northern Ireland. There are people, nationalists in each of those countries, who aren't particularly excited about it and supportive of it. And to be honest, I personally think it's an exciting project, and any money that's spent, £120 million, any money that is spent on creativity in that scale has to be well spent. We did try and be part of it, but we didn't get a look in, as I said. But not to worry, we'll look forward to see what they've been up to here in Paisley. There's absolutely nothing coming through on Twitter, which is a bit of a disappointment, and they're not live streaming anything either, which I'm quite surprised about, I must admit. So this is the Unboxed Twitter account. They've got 2,044 followers, 527 following us, which is nice to know. But there's very little going on. They haven't even tweeted for 5 hours, and that was an education project. The STEMettes, fantastic organisation led by Anne-Marie Fidon. They're doing science, coding and poetry workshops. I think their project's fronted by a big production company, or they all were, who are pretty hot on the old projection graphics. They did the London 2012 projection graphics and projection mapping work at the London 2012 opening, closing ceremonies and all that stuff. So they're saying here that they've been engaging children in poetry workshops. Bridge of Weir Primary School, where's that? Bow Primary, okay, so it's in London, by the look of it, okay. Is that in, no, is that in, that can't be in, that must be in Scotland, surely. Let's have a look. So this is a school that they've engaged. So they've launched today, and they've got one school up there, which is great. We're unfunded at the moment, and we did about, we went to 20 schools in a month just before Christmas. This has got to be in Paisley, isn't it, somewhere? Let's have a look. Whereabouts is this? Yes, it is in Scotland. Fantastic. Somewhere in Scotland. Up in, yeah, Paisley. There we go. Paisley. Fantastic. We had a fantastic time just before Christmas, actually, working over in Edinburgh at some schools over there, and in Dice Primary in Aberdeen, as you saw in the video there, I think. So let's have a look and see what sort of tweets they've got coming. Let's have a look at Unboxed 2022 and see if that's gotten anybody's coming in on that. The latest tweets. So the two latest tweets are ours. Let's have a look. The last 3 tags are ours. Laura Payne, who's that? Oh, she's a lady at the RSA, but I think, yeah. So that's the RSA doing their thing. A project 4th of March to find out more. The Unboxed Collective Futures. This is a project that the RSA are doing in partnership with Unboxed. I think they've got the wrong RSA logo up there at the bottom. Not to worry, can't get everything right, can you? As a fellow of the RSA, it'd be quite nice to know about that, but obviously busy times. So let's see what else we've got here. Somebody says, absolutely stunning light and sound show at Paisley Abbey. So he's made a GIF of that. It's so stunning. Okay, that's cool. History of the universe in 25 minutes. Okay, so Andy Dewar has tweeted that, so if you want to He's made a little GIF. You can't zoom GIFs up, so I can't make that any bigger at this precise moment in time without lots of spannering. Nice picture here of Paisley Abbey, projection mapping, but as somebody says, actually, makes even better use of Paisley Abbey than previous shows, already spectacular programmes. So it sounds like a little bit more of the same. Don't mean to be too sort of hard cheese about that, but it's interesting when the locals are saying it's rather similar to everything else. What have we got here? Martin Green entertaining everybody at the launch of Unboxed Festival in Paisley. Okay, so Martin Green is the creative director of Unboxed or the director and also the Commonwealth Games. He was behind London 2012, I think, and certainly Hull 2017. So there's a bunch of executive types all up from all over the country. I'm sure they're having a lovely time there with Martin. So there's really not very much there at all. Those are the only tags we've got there for Unboxed, so not an awful lot. Oh, here's an event. What's this? Oh, this is the event. Not too many people in there. So this is British Council, bunch of people. So this is a tea and coffee event. This is obviously the press launch for the Unboxed Festival. Dame Vicky Hayward, she's former chairwoman of the RSA and is the chair of Unboxed, actually. Funny all these people you know, but you never sort of hear from them. Cool, so lots of people there at the launch of Unboxed, having a nice time. And they've got some nice daffodils there for St. Patrick's Day, St. David's Day. And which reminds me, I was supposed to be at a St. David's Day party, which I might do actually instead of just hanging around here looking at the stuff, because there's not an awful lot going on. I'd call it a bit of a damp squid person, not wanting to pour too much water on it, but been very supportive up to now, had very little connection and collaboration, although Sam Hunt actually, who's the creative director of Unboxed, has been absolutely fantastic. He joined us on a couple of live streams. He joined us at an event when he was creative director of Waltham Forest, that was 2017, so Hull must have been 2016. Can't keep up, should probably bring some notes, shouldn't I? So yeah, so that's really about it. So tonight we're putting a call out. This is our Cardboard Mars base camp that we're taking to school communities all across the country. Tonight it's here in Paisley to have a look at the Unboxed Festival first evening, and it's not been the most exciting thing remotely. Social media, streaming, global connection. They've got a target of connecting 56 million people with each of these events. So they've got a bit of catching up to do, I'd say, on the back of that. But not to worry, we're fully behind it and happy to sort of help. Obviously we could bring about our 6 followers. But no, we're running the thing called the Ignite 22 Festival, which is a festival of creativity in school communities. We're doing workshops in school communities, and we're trying to raise £1 million to inspire 1 million kids by putting 22 of our drop trucks on the road, 22 people like me, to go into schools, to go into communities, to go into events, fetes, festivals, and do little pop-up events to really genuinely celebrate creativity in our schools, work and lives. And I think what I'll do actually is, have we got a little video of, just check, have we got the video? Can we cut to the video of the Starship taking off? We can. Okay, brilliant. So basically this is all, I mean, rockets are part of what we do at STEAMco, but we're not science and rocket nuts necessarily. But for us, it's very much about a very exciting medium for engaging and inspiring not just kids, but their parents and other creative carers. And we're absolutely delighted to have had some funding from a SpaceX mission. Jared Isaacman, who's a dad who went to space and has just announced he's going 3 more times, including on a Starship. The Starship being the ship that Elon Musk has built 20 or 22 of and has tested, and which he wants to take 1 million people to Mars in 30 years' time. So those are our kids. Our kids today are going to be lined up. If they want to go to Mars in 30 years, it is an option, and the way the world's going, it's possibly not the worst option. We're using that as a way of inspiring our kids to aim not just high, but higher than high, powered by their creativity, powered by their community, even if they don't want to go to Mars, even if they don't want anything to do with space, because for us, art is whatever we do that connects us to somebody else. Could be cooking, coding, robots, rockets, design, DJing. And we go into schools with our Cardboard Mars base camp that you can see behind me here, which is obviously here at Paisley Abbey tonight, with the Unboxed Festival light show streaming around, going on behind us there. And we live stream into schools from the back of a camper van. We live stream in school halls to the rest of the school. We live stream from our HQ into schools across the country. And at the end of the session, we show the kids a video of the Mars base camp in their school playground and the rocket taking off. So let's launch that here in Paisley. Let's launch our mission. Let's launch our Million22. Let's launch an appeal, because I am just a dad. I've been doing this for 5 years now, and I want to start scaling it. COVID took 2 years off us. The Unboxed Festival didn't give us any money, which we'd hoped to be one of those partners. We didn't want 10 million, we just want 1 million, because that's what it's going to cost to put 22 of me and 22 drop trucks on the road to go around the country inspiring kids, and to run free sessions in our schools and in our communities for a whole year, to get those people up and running as a self-supporting, a non-profit community franchise, if you like. We just got to get these people out there. We want to run festivals. We want to run festivals in schools. We've got a site lined up in the country where we're going to run a fantastic festival. We can get this money together. So if you'll help us raise £1 million to inspire 1 million kids, all I ask you is to pop along to hashtag Mission to Mars 22 website, hashtag our Million22, and chip in to help us raise £1 million to inspire 1 million kids. Let's see if we can get this rocket to launch, shall we?
Stage Brothers go for flight.
T-minus 10, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. We have liftoff. Triage alarms.
It's a leap year, so be sure to use the extra day wisely. We will. A month ago, I went to John O'Groats to start a creativity revolution right across the UK with our Ignite 22 Festival of Creativity in School Communities, to continue our work with schools across the country. We live streamed an inspiring assembly from the back of a camper van, making it look as if we were on a cardboard Mars base camp in the school playground. We ran creative activities, rocket making, coding, design, and we launched a dynamite rocket exercise.
The hype it went, and the kids are just squealing with excitement.
But I'm just one dad, and I can't do it all on my own. I need your help. Today in Paisley, the government launched our £120 million Unboxed 2022 Festival of Creativity. We'll sort of be there tonight in a camper van outside the Made in Paisley Arts Workshop, and chatting with Ken MacDonald next door in the world famous Houston Kilt Makers, whose tartan has even been to space. We're launching our own mission with the non-profit community enterprise STEAM Co. I helped co-found with some parents and teachers in my son's school. We want to raise £1 million to inspire 1 million kids to aim higher than high, powered by their creativity and our communities.
7.
At 7 p.m, we'll launch a 150-foot high cardboard starship, just like the 1,000 that Elon Musk wants to take 1 million of our kids to Mars in 30 years.
We have liftoff.
We want to put up to 22 of our pop-up Creativity Day drop trucks on the road this year, and run a few festivals and creativity sessions with school communities across the country. So if you care about creativity, children and all our futures, will you chip in £1 and be part of it?
Let's ask, what if? Let's start a creativity revolution.